President Joe Biden is putting gun violence in the crosshairs with the signing of a new executive order. The president is in California, where he will meet with the families of gun violence victims. And the issue is part of a major campaign promise to reduce violent gun crimes across the country. His executive order will attempt to clamp down on the gun industry and could empower the federal government. White House correspondent Allison Harris has a breakdown for us. Good morning, Allison.
Good morning, Mitch. The action that the president will take today is the closest that the U.S. can get to universal background checks without congressional action, according to the White House. President Biden signing an executive order that cracks down on gun dealers whose licenses have been revoked or surrendered, and it makes sure that they're doing background checks before a gun is purchased. The president also instructing his cabinet to come up with a federal response to mass shootings, much like how we see FEMA respond to a hurricane, a natural disaster. It also urges the FTC to put out a report on how gun manufacturers market guns to minors. Just last week, the U.S. surpassed 100 mass shootings in this country already this year, including in Monterey Park, California. The president speaking today at the Boys and Girls Club there. President Biden hosted Brandon Say at his State of the Union earlier this year. He wrestled the gun away from the shooter in Monterey Park. President Biden saying in his remarks at the State of the Union, he's saved lives. It's time that we do the same, calling for an assault weapons ban at the time, renewing those calls. The president is also going to meet today with families of the 11 who were shot and killed during the Lunar New Year celebrations in Monterey Park, Mitch.
Well, so, Allison, how much of the president's speech today is going to be out of concern for increased violent crime across the country, not just there in California?
Yeah, President Biden just supported Republicans in blocking that D.C. crime bill, remember, to lessen penalties for violent criminals. It's an indication that the president recognizes how important this issue of crime is, especially after Republicans spent millions of dollars on messaging around crime and public safety during the midterms, and they were able to take back the House. You also just saw the Chicago mayor, Lori Lightfoot, lose her re-election, likely because of this major issue of crime. Homicides, robberies, carjackings, they're all anticipated to be major concerns for voters in 2024. And, of course, guns are a very big part of that, Mitch.
And, Allison, this is not the only thing on the president's agenda. He's continuing his three-day tour tomorrow. Where is he going to be headed, and what's he going to be discussing?
So he actually travels to Las Vegas later tonight after his meeting today in Monterey Park. He's attending another Democratic fundraiser. He did that last night as well. Tomorrow he's going to be speaking about affordable health care. Again, we've seen that over the past couple of weeks, talking about lowering the cost of prescription drugs under Medicare. That's something that he included as a provision in his Inflation Reduction Act. It's also a big area of emphasis for him in this budget that he just outlined and put out. The president continuing to travel to the country, talking about what his administration has achieved so far and also the work that's to come ahead of a possible 2024 announcement.
Thanks for watching. Go to NewsNationNow.com to find NewsNation in your cable lineup. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-based, unbiased coverage.